Hello, students. How are you today? So, welcome to our December 3rd lesson. I can't believe it's December 3rd already. So, let's get started. First, we're going to thoughtfully answer a question about something we call positive intent. So, I'm looking forward to your comments about that in class. You always have so much neat stuff to share with me. I really appreciate when you do that. Our objective today is to practice dividing fractions. We're moving into division, but you'll find them very much like the multiplication. So our essential question will be, what steps must I remember when dividing fractions? And our assignment will be to watch our video and complete the assigned problems. Now, guys, to some of you, I want to say, slow down a little. I see some of you have been going really fast. I just want to do them on my own, but just do a couple at a time and then move the video forward and check. You don't want to do 10 problems and do them all incorrectly and then have to go back and do them all over again. So do two at a time or one at a time and then watch a little bit of that video, okay? And to some of you, I want to say the opposite. I want to say, take a risk. Don't always watch the video first. Try one or two on your own and then go to the video. Find that comfort level, students, that's best for you. That's the advantage of having these videos. So for our exit ticket, I want us to kind of write in words, what do we mean when we say keep the same, change, and flip? What exactly is it that we're doing with that? So for homework, just anything that you didn't get finished up in class, go ahead and review. Make sure you understand what we did today so that when we have tomorrow's lesson, you're going to feel strong. So remember, to get full participation credit, please turn on your camera for those few minutes at the beginning when we have our discussion. It really is helpful for me and it's helpful for you and helps us to be a family, even though we're distance learning. Now, if you haven't completed this week's quiz, it was our Wednesday assignment, please get that done and check PowerSchool regularly to see if you have any missing assignments. Remember, following directions in class is very important, especially when you're distance learning, okay? So when you watch the videos and you follow those directions very carefully, you know what's expected of you to succeed in math class, because succeeding is what it's all about, doing your best every day. So I'm trying to be a little funny here. Prime numbers are those numbers that are only divisible by themselves and one. And there is only one even prime number. What is it? Well, the even numbers are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And the only even number that is also prime, means only divisible by itself and one, is the number 2. So, and this is just because I'm having a little fun today. Okay, so let's move on with our lesson. That's always good to, we got our do now. Okay, in order to collaborate effectively, group members should presume positive intent. Okay, I first heard this from a principal I worked for a couple years ago. I'd never heard that term, and it just hit home. When you're talking to somebody, presume positive intent, especially if something they say to you doesn't feel right at first. Coach Rudy, and you'll hear in your uh, social emotional learning lessons that you have in your advisory, you'll hear about Coach Rudy. But this person says, when there's a disagreement, start from a place of curious, not furious. What does this mean? Okay, and there's that couple of seconds between when somebody says something to you and then you respond, that you have a chance to make a decision. Am I mad about what they're saying, or do I need to understand it better first? And I think that's what this curious, not furious means. I want you to think about that and write a sentence or two just below that space. So our exit ticket today, we'll come back to that in a minute. So let's get started. And I think we're going to be moving away from the fall leaves pretty soon and into some winter themes. So we've got fraction division that we're starting today. So we're going to start as usual with question 1, and whatever answer we get here, and we're going to put it as the second fraction in the next problem. So we have 3/10 divided by 3/5. We have done a little bit of division, fraction division. Remember, we want to keep that first fraction. We want to change the operation of division to multiplication. And then we want to flip or invert the second fraction to its reciprocal. So what that looks like over here, we keep the first fraction, we change it to the operation to multiplication, and then 3/5 becomes 5 divided by 3. Now, as always, we're going to look for those cross-canceling opportunities, cross-simplifying. So we're looking at the 3 and the 3, and then the 5 and the 10. That's what we'll be comparing. 3 divided by 3 is 1 in both cases. Now, 5 is a factor of 10. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 5 divided by 5 is 1. Smaller numbers are always better numbers. Okay, so now, often if you can reduce or simplify your fractions, you can keep from reaching for a calculator because you simplified your numbers so you can do them in your head, which is always the best place to work. So 1 times 1 equals 1, 2 times 1 equals 2, and our final answer is 1/2, and we'll put that on the second line. So now we're going to use that keep, change, flip again. We will keep 2/9, change the division to multiplication, and invert the 1/2 so that it's 2/1. Now, 2 and 9, there's nothing we can do to simplify those numbers, nor can we simplify the 2 and the 1. So we'll multiply across. 2 times 2 is 4. 9 times 1 is 9. And that's our final answer, which also is written here for number 3. So let's change our color again so we can keep our problem straight. So now we will keep the first fraction, change the division to multiplication, and we will find the reciprocal of 2/3, which is 3/2. So I definitely see opportunities for us to simplify this. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Now let's look at the 4 and the 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. Let's multiply straight across. 2 times 1 is 2, 3 times 1 is 3, and 2/3 is our final answer. Make sure you show your work when you do these, and we'll write that 2/3 here on problem number 4. I'll change my color. So we have 1/4 divided by 2/3. So 1/4, we keep, change the division to multiplication, and flip or find the reciprocal of 2/3, which is 3 divided by 2. We cannot simplify anything, so we're just going to multiply straight across. 3 times 1 is 3, 4 times 2 is 8. And that's our final answer. We'll write that here, and we'll write that on number 5. Okay, now moving on, we have 3/8 divided by 4/5. So keep, change, flip, change the division to multiplication. The inverse of 4/5 is 5/4. 8 and 5 have no common factors. 3 and 4 have no common factors. So we'll just multiply across, which will give us 15. 8 times 4 is 32. And that's the final answer. So we'll write that here. And we'll write that here. All right, so let's move on. We're doing problem number 6. Which is 15/32, and we'll change the division to multiplication, and we will flip our 5/8 to 8/5. Now I see lots of opportunity for simplifying this. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 15 divided by 5 is 3. 8 divided by 5 is 1, and 8 divided by 8 is 1. 32 divided by 8 is 4. And when we multiply straight across, 3 times 1 is 3, 4 times 1 is 4. And that's our final answer, which we will also put for number 7. And let's get a new color. And let's rewrite the problem as multiplication. 1/5 times 4/3. I do not see any simplifying opportunities here, so I'll just multiply straight across. 4 times 1 is 4, 5 times 3 is 15. And put that's a simplified final answer, which I'll write on number 7 and in the blank space on number 8. And let's get a new color so we can do our next problem. 3/20 and change our division to multiplication. Flip 4/15 to its reciprocal of 15/4. Now, 3 and 4 cannot be simplified. However, the 20 and the 15 are both divisible by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 20 divided by 5 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. And that's a final answer of 9/16. We'll write that here in number 8 and in number 9. All right, we're getting near the end, so let's change our color so we can keep everything straight. We will rewrite this as multiplication, so we keep the first fraction, we change the division to multiplication, and we flip that 2/3 to 3 divided by 2, and does not look like we can. 2 is not a factor of 9, 3 is not a factor of 16, no common factors. So we're just going to multiply straight across. 9 times 3 is 27, 16 times 2 is 32, and that is our final simplified answer. We'll write that in the answer line on number 9, and we'll write that in the blank line on number 10, but we're not going to take our word for it. We're going to check our work. So let's see. We'll rewrite number 10 as multiplication, keeping the first fraction, changing the division to multiplication, and flipping the second fraction to its reciprocal, 36/27. Now, I can definitely simplify this. 3 is a factor of 27, so 3 divided by 3 is 1. 27 divided by 3 is 9. 4 is a factor of 36. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 36 divided by 4 is 8. Oops, I see where I made a mistake. Oops, sorry guys. I miswrote this problem. I knew something was wrong. My bad. Okay, so this should be a 2. Now I'm going to rewrite the problem. Sorry about that, students. Okay, keep. I hope you did it correctly. Multiply 32/27. Now let's get this right. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 27 divided by 3 is 9. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 32 divided by 4 is 8. And multiplying across, we have 8/9, which is a final answer. And our whole page checks. Excellent job. I hope you didn't do that same mistake I did. And that wasn't a math mistake. That was just, I was not carefully copying when I copied my answer. And those are the mistakes you make sometimes in math. So let's take a look at our exit ticket and let's find some green. I like that color. That'll work. So when dividing fractions, what do we keep the same? We keep the first fraction the same. What do we change? We change division, the sign, to multiplication. And what do we flip? We flip the second fraction to its inverse or reciprocal. So good job. I think it's almost time to put away the pumpkins and get out some other holiday ornaments. If you have other holidays that you celebrate, I'd love to hear about them. And as always, you guys are superstars. Thank you for coming to class today. Thank you for working hard. Thank you for practicing because when you do, you'll be great.